Lake Michigan has an afterlife. I know because I'm still here with her. She's still large, still breathing against the concrete, still doing what she's always done. But something about her stopped letting me in. I remember when she used to take my feet, just for a second. Now, instead, she watches me. There was no moment where it changed, no warning. Just one day where closeness didn't ask anything of me. I can still look at her. I can stay as long as I want. But she feels like something I'm supposed to remember, even while she's right in front of me. That's how I know it's an afterlife. Everything is still here, just slightly out of reach. I walk the same path, I pass the same water. There's a line now, not visible, but real. I didn't agree to it. I just learned where it was. The afterlife is an absence. It's presence that won't respond. It's knowing the version you love still exists somewhere and not knowing what you're supposed to do with that. I keep expecting instructions like the waves might explain it. They don't. I wait for a season where touching her makes sense again. Until then, I stand next to her. She doesn't cool my skin anymore, just holds the horizon. She keeps the air steady and teaches me how close is close enough. I measure time by her light now, by how long I can stay without wanting more. She doesn't need me in the water, but she lets me remain nearby, which feels like something.
Sometimes I feel like when something big changes in my life that I feel like I need to more so just like shedding maybe a layer or a style that I feel like doesn't resonate with me anymore. So I've been wanting to clean out my closet for the last 2 weeks. I feel like I just need to refresh. I've been dealing with a lot of difficult emotions recently. I had something that was really tough. My grandpa passed away. I think I got really lucky because I think being older and getting to know your grandparents is a lot different, at least for me, than being younger and having grandparents. And so I feel like I was so lucky to be able to grow a new kind of relationship with my grandpa in my adulthood and his last few years. So it's painful. He would call me so much, and I felt a part of his daily thought process, which was really cool. When I tend to feel really heavy emotions, I actually enjoy now turning inward and trying to understand maybe a way to put an emotion, an experience, or quite literally a person to rest. And I think a really great way to do that is through writing about the afterlife of it. And I'm not necessarily being literal in the terms of afterlife when I say that. I don't mean literally like afterlife or after a death of a person, which you could take it that way, but I also mean in certain like circumstances or experiences. So for me, like Lake Michigan, while I can't necessarily dive into it anymore, I can't put my feet in the water and cool down my burning skin from the sun. While I can't do that anymore, what does the new relationship with Lake Michigan look like? So for my grandpa, I think what really helped me was to think about his afterlife and writing that for myself. You know, he loved my grandma. And there were times where he would always joke and say like, "Ah, I just want to be with grandma. I miss your grandma." You know, I knew that was like where he wanted to be. And so knowing that he's where he wants to be, where he was happiest, I feel at peace, you know. For me, like writing that afterlife felt like putting love in a place where it had nowhere to go. And it's not erasing it, it's just giving it a room. Yeah. I think it doesn't have to be so literal, you know? Like looking at Lake Michigan, I realized the version I love and the version I know best kind of steps back for a while. And that relationship between us changes. And so how do I write that in a way that feels like it's still there, like there's still love that's able to go somewhere? And the other night I realized kind of the same thing in regards to social situations or friendships that might have been based off of partying, based off of drinking, or based off of something or a circumstance that just might have changed. For me, it looked like going out to the bars on a Friday or Saturday night, and I just felt like I couldn't relate to people unless I was also on the same level as them. I just maybe don't need those social shortcuts anymore, you know? When I say shortcut, I mean drinking or alcohol. Like, that's not to say a shortcut to a connection is wrong. I still have really great friendships and bonds that have started through those types of shortcuts. And I appreciate where they've brought me. But I think I find more meaning in the longer approach. But I feel like it's a lot of people's like only way of connecting. And I just want to find that connection point that feels a bit more communal, but also offers a lot more depth. It's almost like a fast sprint as opposed to a long walk. If you keep sprinting fast to every connection, that longer route starts to look a little more brighter, a little more nicer, kind of like a little bit of a break from the sprinting. And then you find it offers you so much more true, authentic connection. Maybe I have more capacity to take the longer route than I did in the past, which is exciting and really fun. And it makes me feel proud of myself for getting to a place where I can maybe take a step back and think about how I want to be perceived by others, and also how to stay true to myself and not get lost in the surrounding crowd. Because I feel like I tend to be a chameleon a lot in social situations, and I want to bring my own energy to a function. Like Michigan, like it still exists, It's still there, just like the social shortcuts. They still exist, they're still there. Something I wrote in my journal was that social shortcuts taught me where the long way begins. Like I feel like I need a rebirth, but I'm like ready for it. But I'm kind of like done grieving what was once my 20s. And now I'm so excited to be kind of moving into this next chapter of what I think is my 30s, which I have been waiting for my 30s since I was in my early 20s. And I don't know why. I think it was the movie 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Gardner, who I think she made it feel so sexy, and that's why I'm so excited for it. I feel like I'm coming into myself a lot more, like how I truly feel coming into myself. I'm like gripping the hand of my 22-year-old self. Like, it gets better, I promise. It gets better.